Hey everyone, Chris Urso here with URS Capital Partners. I'm actually on my way over to our job site up in South Portland, Maine. Wanted to give you all an insight on the location because it's a big misnomer for folks when it comes to opportunity zones. People tend to think that it's in highly depressed areas. So I'm going to try to give you a little bit of insight here. We're literally about a quarter mile from the site. So I'm going to whip a quick UE. This is one of the busiest intersections in all of South Portland. So you can see we got retail here, retail here. Our land partner actually owns all of this retail here, starting with the Subway, the Buffalo Wild Wings. You got, Urgent Care. You got Sea Dog Brewery, which is one of the most popular breweries right here on the corner, which is fantastic. You got a self-storage place here. This section here is really one of the busiest intersections in all of the greater Portland area, as you can see. I mean, just look at kind of the traffic flow here. So you can go either direction that way or straight through, actually straight through this way to get to the main mall or on the way to our site. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is, opportunity zones have obviously been a really hot button as of late. There tends to be more conferences and experts popping up by the day, and everybody raising hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. And I just want to share a little bit about our approach and our thoughts with you on this. For those of you that don't know us, URS Capital is a real estate investment company. We've been in business now for 10 years. We've acquired 21 multifamily value-add assets over the years. Our core focus really is and will continue to be on multifamily acquisitions and redevelopment or repositioning of existing multifamily assets. We kind of really started focusing on opportunity zones at the beginning of 2018 when this was announced, working with our tax attorneys diligently, literally weekly in some instances, to understand it. And we made the decision from the beginning to not chase the gold rush, right? So we made the decision to kind of keep our head down, really learn it, and leverage the decade-long relationships that we've built, up and down the East Coast in our multifamily acquisition business to find bespoke opportunities to offer our high net worth and ultra high net worth investors that have been with us for years, and many new ones also that ended up joining us in our South Portland project as a result of referrals. And it took us the better part of about a year to identify a viable opportunity. Our big approach was that the deal needs to make sense by itself, without the tax benefits, without the opportunity zone. And we were introduced to this project and the landowner through a colleague, an investor of ours, not because it was in an opportunity zone. That was secondary, because he was up in greater Portland looking at some other investment opportunities, was introduced to this landowner that had recently gotten this piece of land fully entitled for 256 apartments. And gentleman, very, very wealthy, prominent local real estate and construction individual here up in Portland, had never done any real multifamily of scale. So I'm just going to give you an idea. We're now pulling up towards our site. So we're tucked just off the retail. You got this retail here that was recently acquired and being all redeveloped. Sorry, I'm going a little fast. You got Home Depot right here. And once I pull onto the site, I'm going to finish up the story for you, but I think it's important. So our job site starts right here. So I'm actually going to go past it to give you an idea. So we are a full-blown active construction site. We've only closed, there's our elevator shaft to give you an idea how big our building's going to be. It's pretty awesome. And we'll pull in there in a minute. There's a ton of activity going on today, which is fantastic. Brought the guys some donuts, some coffees. But, you'll see we're kind of like a little neighborhood. There's the site. We'll get you in there. It's a combination of kind of Class B office, and then it spirals right into the main mall down here at the end. But what I wanted to kind of just share again, I was introduced to this landowner, very wealthy, prominent real estate developer up here in the Portland area, that had gotten this piece of land fully entitled, that had been sitting there. This piece of land was sitting as dead land. As you can see, this whole Clark's Pond development is fully developed. That was the last piece of land in here. It was zoned for retail. Somebody from the outside would have never been able to make that happen. Me coming up here as a New Yorker, trying to come into this market, would have never happened. But he took about 2 years, got the piece of land rezoned for high density multifamily, given its kind of commercial location. You can see you got the mall over here, which this mall serves the entire Portland MSA. So while we don't, love the story of malls and, the retail hot buttons these days, it is pretty healthy, just given that it is it's basically a regional power mall. So people come from, an hour around this mall to shop here, which is a positive. So not to go off on a tangent. Anyways, met the landowner. I made the case for our firm having our existing operating platform in place, our capital raising ability, our deal structuring ability, and educated them about the opportunity zone benefits. When they brought it to me, it was, hey, by the way, I think it sits in one of these things called an opportunity zone. So I immediately flew up here, sat down, went to lunch with the landowner. We developed a very good rapport. He had never really raised outside capital before. He's built his own wealth, personally, and just kind of with some friends and family here and there. And we structured the deal whereby, after 6 months of being 100% transparent with each other, doing a tremendous amount of diligence, research on the market, all the above, we structured the deal where we acquired the land from the owner and his partner, and they reinvested back into our partnership, which to me was a great sign. They put their money where their mouth was. They believed in the project, and he's on board basically as an owner's rep, working with us and assisting us in the daily oversight, the weekly oversight, in addition to our office. As you can see here, this is pretty awesome. It's a massive construction site. We're going to be putting up 4 buildings here, 256 apartments. Again, we closed in April. We're now in August. First foundation's in, elevator shaft is in. They're prepping for the second foundation as we speak. I know this is a little bit lengthy of an update, but I just want to stress to you that, we continue to stay focused on identifying these, what we call bespoke opportunities, these unique opportunities where we get an introduction directly to a landowner, or someone has a piece of land under control, but they don't necessarily have the capacity or desire to develop the project on their own. And we can bring our platform, our structure, our systems, our back office to the project and really work together with that landowner. We're not out there actively pursuing and chasing every listing that comes out that's an opportunity zone. I think it's an absolute waste of time in today's world. Owners have such a false expectation of what their values are in their properties. And then on the side, you have, all these huge funds being raised, $1 billion here, $1 billion there, $5 billion, but how are they getting deployed? Where's the execution? Is it really happening? The data that we're seeing is less than 10% of those 10% of the funds being committed or raised are actually getting deployed. So if this is something you're interested as a tax strategy for you, I encourage you. We have a short list of those investors that we go to for our Opportunity Zone projects. I encourage you to go to our website, urscapitalpartners.com, get signed up, reach out to us, send us an email at info@urscapitalpartners.com. Let us know you're interested in Opportunity Zone projects. Again, this is something where if we did maybe 1 to 2 more of these projects over the next 2 years, I'd be shocked. We review dozens and dozens of opportunities that are sent to us on a daily and weekly basis, but really are only focusing on those that we are 100% confident in, both the locations, the deal profile, the basis, and the overall fundamentals of the project without the Opportunity Zone benefits. So thanks. Appreciate it, and hope to talk to you soon.